Today's guest played in the big leagues for 16 seasons with some impressive starting pitching outings early in his career, but you might know him best for his work out of the bullpen. Today we catch up with former Cubs hurler Kyle Farnsworth. So you played in the big 16 years. When it was finally time to walk away, was that tough?
Yes. And, after my last season here in the United States, I went down to Mexico and played for another 2 years, which was fun. And it was different, but it was definitely hard. I haven't really officially retired, but I think it's pretty much there.
Yeah.
But eventually, when you play, that day's gonna have to come, and you just have to be hopefully prepared for it as much as you can, mentally and physically, and and just be part of it.
I know you got into semi-pro football. We'll talk about that, but you throw still?
I've been throwing. I just opened up a gym for about 6 months ago, and I do pitching lessons and stuff there. And I blew my shoulder out playing football probably about a year and a half ago, and playing catch with all these kids now is starting to get my arm back in shape. So it's starting to get that fire again going, maybe. But yeah, I've been playing catch and stuff like that, especially with my son as well. But playing with the kids, I give lessons to, start to, if it's feeling good and everything like that. But I would only have so many bullets in that shoulder anyhow. So who knows how much longer, even if I wanted to try to do it, what would happen?
Yeah. When you come back for a weekend like this, like last night, opening ceremonies, come across the stage and to the ovation that you get, that's cool. I mean, that means a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely heartwarming and exciting.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't know what to expect. Obviously there'd be cheers, but just to be able to come back and be part of an organization that drafted me in 95, and I was with for 10 years, from 95 through 2004. So it was, having my kids here as well was cool, have them see that. So, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been, I think the last time when I was here was 2004.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yes, as a player. So, it's not much. I mean, a lot has changed, but it's still basically the same. Love the fans, how much they love it. They get into it as well. I don't think there's really many teams that I've been a part of that can do it the way the Cubs, ownership and fan base that can do it. It's definitely a lot of fun.
You mentioned it briefly. I wanted to talk about it when you played in Mexico. Totally different atmosphere, right? Than being here.
Definitely.
Had you seen a game there at all? I mean, did you know what you were going into, or no?
I had no idea what I was getting into. I talked to the general manager with Pericos de Puebla, the first team I played with down there. He's like, this it's going to be different.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, how different can it honestly be? And just, when I got down there for road games, we dressed in the hotel, then leave and go to the game, come back, throw.
You don't change at the park?
No, unless it's a getaway day. But and then we dress at the hotel, come back, throw our clothes out. It's like minor league ball almost.
Yeah.
But they were a good organization. They treated everybody well. They were kind of like the Yankees, higher class one. The great fans though. They were into it. Drums playing during the game, mascots running around on the field during the game, during the pitches.
Really?
Dancing and stuff. They had cheerleaders on the field. Every now and then a stray dog would come running across. So it's kind of like almost like eastbound and down.
Yes.
It's almost just like that when he played down in Mexico. That literally is just about the way it is.
That's funny.
But it was like AA, AAA competition. There was a lot of, I played with Miguel Tejada my first year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, there was a lot of major league players that played down there as well. So the competition is great. They have some great Mexican players down there as well. So, Jorge Cantu is from there.
That's true.
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So, it was fun. I enjoyed my time down there.
It's something that friends of ours are from Venezuela, and they live here now, but he's Venezuelan. He said you got to go to a game in Mexico or Venezuela or Puerto Rico and see the atmosphere. Watching a game in America, it's boring compared to that.
It's kind of like almost a soccer game atmosphere, but playing baseball for how much the crowd and fans get into it, and the music, drums, and all that kind of stuff.
Did you know Spanish, or did you pick Spanish up?
I just knew the basics. I could understand more than I could speak, and I knew just enough to get by, just food things and stuff like that. A lot of the guys could speak and understand some basic English as well. So it wasn't too rough.
The travel there, how spread was it? Mexico's a big country.
I think Tijuana was, it's all the way on the west coast, but then mainly everybody was central over east. So I never made that trip to Tijuana, but they flew there. Some teams would obviously not having a lot of money. So
Yeah.
some teams had like my last team I played for was Reynosa, and we had to bus a lot of places.
Did you?
15, 20-hour bus rides, and those were rough. But sometimes we'd fly and everything like that. So to travel, it was definitely nothing like here. So
Yeah. And you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you went back to starting a little bit
Yes.
in Mexico rather than coming out of the pen.
Yeah.
And you hadn't done that for a long time.
Yep. So they asked me because I wanted to do it before. Because I came in a starter, I wanted to kind of leave at a starter. It's something I prepare myself to want to do. And I think my last time I started was 2000 here with the Cubs. And then ever since then, I was in the bullpen, and I enjoyed it. I've had no issues with it. Besides my shoulder, because I messed it up playing football before I went down there my last year, so that didn't help at all.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I went out there and competed, and did the best I could, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you pitch always when you were playing ball growing up, or was it something that you got into later on?
Did I pitch?
Pitch, yeah. I mean, were you always a pitcher?
I played outfield a lot as well.
Yeah.
Outfield and played some catcher, but just mixed it around.
When you played, you were in great shape. You look like you're in phenomenal shape now. Different approach. So talk about your new athletic venture the last few years.
Well, my last year was when I got released by the Astros. I think like mid-season, 2014. No, I've always wanted to try to play football and professional baseball at the same time. Even before that happened, like early 2000s. Did a little bit during off season, but it just never panned out. So when that happened in 2014, I was, it's like, what? I don't want to look back in my life and go, I wish I would have attempted to do this, and wish I would have done that. So I was like, I've always wanted to play football. I want to go back home to Florida, Orlando, look up, see if there's any semi-pro football teams in the area, and just go try out and just see what happens. Because like I said, I don't want to look back in my life and say, man, if I only would have done it.
Sure.
So I went back, found there's quite a few teams that I realized that there were that many leagues and teams like that, and found one right there in Orlando called the Orlando Phantoms.
Okay.
Saw the tryout date, signed up, went, made the team, led the league, our team in sacks, tackles. That year was an all-star. So I don't think anybody knew. No one knew who I was. So, I'm just some old guy out there. At that time I had like a beard.
Did they know you played Major League Baseball?
No, they didn't know. I think my head coach only knew because he knew Alex Ochoa, who played.
Okay.
So I think he finally figured it out. But I don't think it was until maybe halfway through my second year. It eventually came out somehow. I forget how it did. Through Tampa somehow. Someone knew I was playing. So, and then I've been doing that for this will be my 5th year.
But this is, you've been a multiple-time All-Star. You guys won a championship.
Twice.
This isn't just for fun. This is legit.
Yeah, it's legit football. It's kids coming out of high school, and there's college kids who've been playing. Guys who've been on NFL practice squads, CFL guys, arena football guys. So it's legit 11-on-11 football.
Good talent.
Good. There's great talent out there. And some people just think, it's this semi-pro. There are some teams that are like that, not very good. But then there's other organizations that they're legit football teams, and it's hard hitting football.
I bet. What happened with your shoulder when you hurt it?
Well, I went run out to the quarterback, and he cut back on me, and I reached out with my right arm, tripped him up, and yanked my arm back, and felt something. And I was like, good job, Kyle. Right, last game before going down to Mexico to go play. Good job.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I ended up tearing. Well, I went down to Mexico, finished pitching, came back, played the next season, and that's when I blew it out, tore my bicep tendon, labrum, and rotator.
Ooh.
And then got it all fixed. And then it was almost a year ago, not this December, but last December of 2018, completely blew my knee out, my left knee, hyperextension.
On the field?
Yep, during practice, non-contact, tore all 4 of my ligaments.
Oh.
And just now getting back to that, it's as good as it's going to be, and it feels great right now. But
I was on Twitter. I was looking at your Twitter handle before we sat down, and you said, "Here's to the doubters that didn't believe I'd come back." And you had about 15,000 plates on each side. You were squatting, so your knee healed okay.
Yeah, it's getting there finally. Thank goodness. But just hard work, and just keep on going.
Did you?
That's something I know.
Did you play high school football?
I played in the 9th grade, but that was it. My dad kind of directed me more towards baseball as far as less injuries and guaranteed money, and he was pretty much right.
Yeah.
had a pretty good baseball career. Then
great baseball career.
For 5 years in football, and had 2 major injuries. No major injuries in baseball.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. When you got in to football after baseball, what did you expect? I mean, you obviously worked out really well, but did you think that you'd have that kind of success?
Honestly, I had no idea. I just knew I'd rather hit people than be hit, so that's why I chose defensive end. And I figured it was going to be the easiest position to learn since I haven't played in 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
Just basically contain and hit the quarterback. Basically, was the job to be
Yeah.
done. So, I just tried to take this. I've always been athletic. That's the position I played when I was in high school and stuff like that. So, I just figured it wouldn't be that hard of a transition. I didn't think. I just watched what other guys do. I looked at a lot of videos and stuff like other guys. In the NFL, just what kind of stuff they did, and just noticed one thing, just have fun. Basically, just try to not embarrass myself and just enjoy my life.
You were in great shape when you played in the bigs. You're in great shape now. That's always been important to you, obviously. I mean, what workout-wise, diet-wise, what kind of things you do just typically on a day-to-day basis?
Now these days, back when I was playing baseball, I didn't lift up my upper body as heavy as I do now, just for the fact of getting too tight, not be able to get extension and get out front on the ball and stuff like that. I didn't eat as much then as I do now. I'm trying to, I've put on probably close to 30 pounds or so since baseball and stuff like that. Probably around 255-ish. I'm trying to get to 260, but just trying to eat more, lift heavier upper body. And that's one thing is staying flexible and stuff like that, and just trying to find out what works well with my body and just stay athletic.
Food-wise, I mean, are you limit yourself, or is it
I don't
certain things you like more than others, or?
I don't limit myself too much. I mean, I like pizza, ice cream, wings, and stuff like that.
All the good stuff, yeah.
But I don't eat like crap. I want rice, chicken, steak, sweet potatoes, and egg whites, oatmeal, and stuff like that. Just basically just try to eat as clean and healthy as possible for much as I can, and have some cheat days here and there. But I'm not going to destroy myself. I got to do this, I got to do that. No, I'm just going to have pleasures, have ice cream every now and then, stuff. But so,
what's the biggest difference between baseball workout-wise and football? Obviously, more strength for football. Was more stretching involved in baseball, stuff like that, or not so much?
No, you definitely need stretching in football as well. Core, your hips. If you have tight hips in football, you can't turn a corner, you can't flip your hips.
Yeah.
Baseball, same thing, rotation. You can't pitch, you can't get the momentum, hip drive, and everything like that. So that's always been the same. I think it's just more power and explosive movements. I started doing more for football as opposed to baseball. I'm sure things have changed for baseball workouts since I was around, I'm sure. Because I think people are starting to do more Olympic lifting and more power movements as well. But I think that's the main thing for me. I just started doing more heavier strengthening up for upper body, because that's where my legs have always been strong.
Yeah.
It's just I just need to get stronger upper body just for bigger guys trying to push me around, 300-pound guys coming at me. So I needed that strength and more mass. So I just just started going more towards actually flat bench instead of dumbbells, and just more deadlifts and things like that.
Talk about your new business venture in Florida.
Probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I teamed up with Ernest Wiggins, who was an Olympic sprinter. It's Farnsworth Peak Performance and Atlas Speed Training. We do, I do a lot of baseball pitching lessons there and work with my kids. He does a lot of speed, agility training for all kinds of athletes, either from little kids all the way up to collegiate and professional. We have adult boot camps. We have every day, so we try to cater to not just an athlete, to the everyday person who's just trying to get better for themselves. And it's been a great run so far over there, and we enjoy doing it. He's passionate about it, and I'm passionate about it, and it's just growing more and more every day. And that's what we're just a big old family in there, and everybody loves coming there because everybody's joking around. We got our music playing. It's a lot of fun, and we go from soccer teams, tennis teams are coming in there. We've had football guys. I mean, we've had everybody, all walks of life. That's what's awesome about it.
That is awesome.
We don't close the door on anybody. If we don't want anybody to be intimidated by a little mom comes in there, then they see this big old athlete over here, like, oh, geez. No, he's doing something totally different than you're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody's here trying to get better with themselves. So
this is something you were obviously just passionate about. You figured it'd be great to have our own facility, or how did it come about?
I had one back in 2008 up in Georgia with my brother. It was called Hit Center Training, and we just opened it up at the wrong time. We wasn't able to market and everything, and went south, and so it just never took off. And I've always wanted to, was always into fitness and keeping healthy and strong and stuff like that, and I've always wanted to find another opportunity to do that as well. And another thing, to have somewhere where my sons can come train as well, and they can stay in shape. And it just happened to be a mutual friend that actually owned the gym before I bought it. They were moving and wanted to sell, so it kind of just the pieces laid perfectly.
Perfect timing.
Exactly, and things fell into place, and it turned out to be all right.
If somebody comes in, say a high school baseball player, what kind of program would you tailor for them, baseball specific, with agility incorporated? I mean, what goes into that?
It all just depends on what position they play and what they're trying to do. Like, we have this one baseball kid that came in. I believe he was a pitcher, but I haven't really been working with him. But he wanted to get better on his 60 time. So Ernest, we've been working with him, and I think he ran I want to say about a year ago, he ran maybe an 8. And then he just ran it again and ended up running like a 6.8 or something like that. So every year from working with Ernest, he dropped 1.2
Big
seconds.
difference.
So
yeah.
It's huge. So it all just depends on the athlete. I've been working with a couple of pitchers. Some of them have real tight hips, like we were talking about before. And I start working with them on stretching. We get on the stretching and strengthening routine for the hips, core. So because if you can't get your hips opened up, your arm's not going to be able to get extension. You're going to stay closed, and everything's going to go flying up and away.
Right.
So, then I have another kid who's real long and lanky and like a little wet noodle, so he needs to get stronger on everything.
Yeah.
So, everybody's different. Every training thing is different for everybody, so you just have to find out what they want, what they need, and tailor something that meets in the middle.
That's cool. How many kids do you have?
I have 2. Actually, I have 1, and my stepson and stepdaughter.
And what age?
My son is 16, then Hunter's 19, Taylor's 23.
That's cool. So, I mean, post-baseball life, being a dad's that's a great role.
Nothing better than that. So, I mean,
what are they doing now?
So Stowe, my son, he's sophomore. He played football this year, but he's mainly into baseball. Then Hunter, he's football, and Taylor, she's just getting ready to graduate college.
Is your son built like you? Is he tall?
He's tall and lean.
Yeah.
He probably weighs more now since he's a sophomore than I did when I was a senior. He's like 185.
Really?
I know. Yeah. He's not a normal kid either. He's a freak of nature.
Is he a great athlete?
Yeah, I know he's my son, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So baseball is his number one.
It's what he said he wants to be. But if he wanted to do anything, he could be good at any of them.
Yeah.
But he said he wanted to concentrate more on baseball. Which is
great.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him where not to go. I know he'd be great at basketball or football, but if that's where his heart is, that's we'll guide him, direct him.
Does he pitch?
First base and outfield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it hard? I remember when I was growing up playing, and into high school, and then I just played very small college for a very short amount of time. But I remember my dad saying, "You listen to your coaches more than you listen to me."
Uh-huh.
Well, my dad wasn't a big leaguer, but he knew what he was talking about. But that's kids, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
He listened to me a little bit, but there's other ex-major league players that live in Orlando area, and they'll be I know him and we'll be around him, and then he'll listen to them. I was like, didn't I just tell you that like 5 seconds ago? How come you didn't listen to me then? But I did this. We did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why. What is it about that?
I don't know, but just as long as he listens in any way he can, maybe he'll hear a different way from someone else. I know some kids like that, they hear the same thing from 2 different people, but they hear it from a different person, but for some reason it clicks for them.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Just whatever it works, however they hear it, and it works for them, it doesn't matter.
That's true. It's got to be neat, coming back to Chicago for a weekend like this and catching up with guys.
Oh yeah,
that you run
definitely.
into,
I mean,
right?
some of them I haven't seen in 10 years.
Yeah.
And just the way to see guys change and stuff like that, but they're still the same. Just talk about old times and stuff like that, past memories. Even the older guys, and you see the younger generation coming up as well, how things change generation after generation after generation. It's cool. It's just the way the game is, and it just changes all the time.
Yeah. When you were playing, you always had big, cute puppies around. My wife and I are big dog lovers. We got little mutts at home, but you still got dogs at home?
Yes, I only have one of them now. I know the two I had here, they passed away, but I still have. They're both American Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I have right now. And
that's a great breed.
Yeah. Great,
beautiful dogs.
Great dog.
Yeah.
They're great for people, kids,
yes.
Everything like that, protection and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've always loved those dogs. My sister kind of turned me on to them a long time ago. She has a lot of them, and that's how I got into that breed. But yeah, I still have them.
Yeah. What's it mean to you? You made your Cubs debut in '99. You drafted in '95. You said by the organization.
'94.
'94. Yep. To come back all this time after and be embraced by such a great fan base, that's got to mean a lot.
It definitely does. I never would have thought, being a kid playing a game, that something like this would happen. So it's definitely flattering, blessed to be able to come back into an organization that, as I got drafted in the 47th round, to be able to be welcomed by everybody and stuff like that. And, it's kind of like a loss for words in a way.
That's awesome. I grew up in Chicago as a Cubs fan, and when you played, I was a huge fan of yours. So I appreciate you sitting down with us today.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
To see more of my interviews with former Cubs, be sure to subscribe to our Cubs YouTube page.